Hi everyone. I hope you are doing okay. We're going live to talk about some marketing ideas to work on and to share in these times. I'm gonna add, try to add Karen. Just bear with me one sec. There we go. Hi. Just
Hello.
hi. Hi,
It
Karen.
worked.
Yeah, I did. I did.
How are you
Um,
doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, not too bad. Keeping busy. Yeah,
that's
working.
good. That's good.
Yeah, working. Work is keeping me busy,
Yeah,
which is good. So we get our minds of thinking about all what's going on,
that's
coronavirus,
true. That's true.
etc.
You're in Manchester now, right? So
Yes, in
you're on
Manchester.
lockdown too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and incredibly sunny Manchester. I don't know how
I
is
know it's the
the
same
weather over
here.
there.
It's crazy. It's been like 2 weeks of insane sun. So it's been nice to be able to go outside and do small. Well, you can't go outside at all, can you? Or what's your lockdown?
Pardon, say that again.
Your lockdown, is it that you can't leave the house at all, or is it that you can go for?
No, no, no.
Okay.
We are allowed to leave for one
Yeah.
form or of workout a day, but we're not leaving as much. We're
Yeah.
just trying to stay home just in case and stay safe
Yeah.
and do the workouts at home and staying home as much as possible. Yes,
Yeah.
so solidarize as well with with the Spanish people and all the people from. Hi, everyone is joining. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Well,
Lisa.
we just doing a quick introduction with Karen. So yeah, actually, to respect also other people that are not allowed to. You are allowing at the
We
moment, are
we're
you?
allowed to walk within our 2K radius. So like I take my dog for a small walk or something, but yeah, aside from that, I'm not really just staying in online doing work. But it's like, I'm like you, I'm based online, so I feel very lucky that my work life hasn't really been impacted by this. So I'm kind of just my day to
Yeah,
day work wise is the same. It's only in the evenings I'm like, oh yeah, I can't go out or there's those small adjustments. But overall, I'm pretty lucky, I think, with my work situation. So that's what we're going to talk about
yeah,
today,
we
isn't
are
it? How
exactly.
can
We
other people do it too?
exactly. So yeah, like if you could introduce yourself to the audience and say who you are, what you do, and how what you actually experiencing
Yeah.
at the moment with your clients and in social media. You would say how you doing, how you helping, so people can relate and can
Yeah,
understand more.
absolutely. So, yes, my name is Karen. My company is Transfer Media, and I work with entrepreneurs who didn't grow up with social media. So, would be maybe from the age of, say, 35 plus, who, like myself, didn't grow up with social media. And so, there's that little bit more of a learning curve for them in learning a lot of the tools that younger people feel are very basic, maybe. So that's what I've been doing for the last while. So I'm a content writer as well, social media strategist. So I kind of do all that stuff. So I basically walk people through a 12-week program where they can bring
Mhm,
their business online. So they're generally people who have existing businesses predominantly offline, and they're just looking
mhm,
for ways to how can they bring it online? How can they, from even getting a website online to understanding how to use Facebook and Instagram to reach their clients, and which is obviously very important at the moment that they learn how to do that. So yeah, so I have just been taking on more clients recently myself and just helping them understand, because before, when I would have been talking to people, a lot of people would have had the attitude of, my business already works, I'm making money, do I really need to go online? Seems like a lot of hassle. I don't have time to write content and all this. Whereas now, with everything that's happened, people are like, okay, I need to go online, I need to figure it out, I need to do it yesterday. How does this happen? So I'm trying to help people at the moment just really understand social media, how it works, and get their voice out there. And like, I feel that there is huge opportunities at the moment for people online, because the sort of strange thing about this pandemic is that we're all in it together. And where, like, I would have gone through the previous economic crisis, when I felt a very different vibe, where it was very much, it was almost like survival of the fittest the last time I felt, whereas this time it feels much more solidarity and everyone's in
mhm.
this together. And there's a lot of support out there. There's a lot, I know in Ireland there's a lot of support with the banks and the government and everything, so that, which is fantastic. So I think there's like an opportunity right now for people to upskill, to learn, to figure out, the ones who aren't online at all, to figure out how to get there and what way they should be doing it. And for the people the people who are already online, like you and I think it's a really good opportunity to grow your audience and to focus on who your audience is and get to really know them and survey them and like literally get onto a Zoom call with them and speak with them. I've been doing that for the last week. I've had about 25 calls with people who kind of match my ideal client, and just listening to like what, ask them like what's going on with you right now, because we're all still here. We all still need things done. And what's happening is we need to sort of move around the restrictions that are in place to serve people. So how can we, as those service providers, how can we still reach our clients? And what do they need from us now? How has that shifted? So I think conversations have to happen with your clients and try to understand, okay, what are you needing right now? Maybe like part 1 and 2 of my services aren't needed right now, but maybe 3 and 4, and maybe there's an additional 5 that is needed now. And how can I bring that to you? And then you need to get creative of like, okay, how can I still serve those clients? And like, I've seen some incredible examples, even personally. I have a dog that needs haircut quite often, and with the weather improving, is really feeling the heat. And I was like, how am I going to cut her hair? I'm going to have to like shave her bald because I'm not going to know how to do this. And I just put up a message on Facebook saying, does anybody have a solution? I need my dog's hair to be cut. And a groomer reached out to me and said, yeah, actually, I have made these homemade dog grooming kits, and I can send you one for €30, and I'll do a Facebook instruction video for you that you teach you what to do. And there, my dog is happy.
That's
and
really cool.
It's amazing. Like, and she's got a new client now. I'll definitely be in touch with her afterwards, and I'm in touch with her now to figure out what else can I do. And like, it's just, that's creative thinking. And she couldn't obviously physically help her clients, but she talked to them and found that they all still had a need that needed to be serviced, and she figured out a creative way to service it. So that's my intro.
Yeah. That was actually a good introduction. And I agree with you. Now is obviously the time. If you obviously managing clients and you are able to reach them and to be supportive, and that's what I've also been doing with my clients as well, trying to be as helpful as possible and see how we can re-strategize things and change things and adapt to the current situations, because in some cases, for some sectors, some clients in sectors like travel, for example, give you an example, travel sector being very very affected by and they actually no generating anything at the moment. They're just trying to survive. Survive, right? Survive. So I created I've done a few things as well, offering free consultations for new people that any businesses that want to reach out to me. I run a few webinars and masterclasses. One of the masterclasses in marketing is Survive and Thrive. So we explain how what we can do at the moment to survive. And some of the things you already mentioned, things like obviously going where your audience is, ask questions, get that feedback from your customers to understand better your customer. Now is the moment. Maybe before we didn't have time to spend doing things like that and analyzing how we creating the message, how we reaching out to customers, or our content, things like trying to create more helpful way. And now is the time to sit down and analyze all the things. And in terms of content, it's true that now we see content with SEO is even more important, because people are searching on Google more than ever, and going on platforms, obviously like social media platforms, to consume content. But people, I think, like obviously over the past years, we are becoming more exigent when it comes to like content. So you're consuming content. Everyone likes good content. Like it's entertaining. It's it's kind of like helpful and fast consuming and video and creative. So now it's. I mean, I also recognize that some days, and for myself, or for some clients, we found it hard to stay creative. That is also a truth, because we are living in a moment where some days you're more creative, some days you're less creative. So how would you how would you advise people, or how would you say you do to stay creative? How do you do to stay creative in a way to create content, to stay active?
So my advice is to tune in with your own energy right now, which might sound a bit woo-woo,
Mhm.
but I found that when this whole pandemic thing happened, that I didn't think I was being impacted, but then I realized I was feeling way more tired than normal, and just like for no apparent reason. It's not that I was doing that much more
Me
work. I
too.
just felt a lot more tired. It's because even if you're not feeling like very, very impacted, there's so much going on around you. Like I said, we're absorbing all these things with our senses without even realizing it, even subconsciously, that it just is taking more brain energy. Just in the background, things are just like, oh god, process, and all of it's quite shocking and quite like massive. So I think that I found myself at the start being like, no, like get up at 6 and like do these things, and I was just so tired I could not do it. So I just said, okay, don't set an alarm and just see what happens. And I woke up naturally at like 8 o'clock, and I felt a million times better rather than trying to drag myself out at 6. I just think that our energies may have massively changed over all of this without even realizing it, and to try and tap into that. And because we are at home, all of us can kind of have that flexibility that you and I sort of enjoy as online entrepreneurs anyway. That if you're now better to work from 10 o'clock until 8 o'clock, then so be it. What does it really matter at the moment? Like, so you can be a little bit more flexible with your time. You can take breaks longer. I'm trying to really tune in. I found that what's working for me at the moment, which isn't at all what was working for me before, is getting up a little bit later, not doing any work for the first couple of hours. I just go for like a walk around the local area, try and find somewhere where I can almost see nobody or no houses, and just be really connected to nature, and just try and like breathe that in for a few minutes and feel a bit normal somehow. And then I come back and get into my work. I try and like, I have all my little, like, I have incense and candles and all that kind of stuff, just trying to really like mind myself and take care of myself. And if I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, I like go outside again, or go to that garden or something. And I don't check in with the news more than once a day. And I only check in with like the national Irish channels and what's happening. It's like, I think that's all I need to know. I'm like on a need to know basis with the news, because I just think anything else, it just creates panic in you, even if you don't realize it. The more that you consume day to day, the more you're going to have to process as you're trying to sleep at night, which means you're going to get less peaceful sleep. So that would be my take at the moment. And just taking it day by
Yeah.
day as well. Just like, I'm not planning things massively. I used to plan my content weeks and weeks in advance. I'm not at all now. First of all, we don't know what's going to happen. Like I remember I was like writing content for somebody else, and I had planned 3 days in advance because I wanted to take the weekend off. So I had content set to go out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on Friday night, the Irish government announced the entire lockdown. And the two posts I had going out on Saturday and Sunday were just like, get out for a walk, go to the sea, go to the park. I was like, oh God, delete, delete. So it's just, I think that you can't really plan content in the same way a lot of the time, because we just don't know what's going to happen one day to the next. So I'm kind of trying to do things maximum 2 days in advance. And then also I may feel different in 2 days. I'm something may happen within me in 2 days. I'm just like, you know what, I need to take it off and I'll work on Saturday instead or whatever. Like, I think just allow that flexibility in, and don't be so hard on ourselves. Like, for like, there's this kind of strange thing going around. It's like, I'm gonna like, get super fit, and I'm gonna learn a new language, and I'm gonna do all these. It's just like,
I know.
you're going through a pandemic. Maybe chill.
Apparently, lots of people now tend to be like, obviously, personal trainers online and
Yeah.
things doing online. But to be honest, I totally agree with, like, mindset, for example, is so important to keep our mindset. And it comes to like how you feeling and how you do things. Sometimes working less and stay more creative and relaxed and calm, you find it more productive, and it works
Definitely.
best than trying to force yourself to do too many things.
Yeah.
And when I help my clients like to create a plan, an action plan, and they do things like, okay, we're going to implement this. I tend to obviously advise them not to overwhelm themselves. We like to run 5 webinars, whatever. We're going to do this. We're going to do this campaign. Okay, it's best to do a couple of things properly a month, achieve, set smart goals, like proper goals for a month, and say, this week I like to achieve this, next week I like to achieve this. couple of blog posts, whatever it is,
Yeah.
but not like I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Because if we try to do everything, we end up doing
Oh, totally. A crash and burn, like, yeah. And I think it's worthwhile as well taking a step back from your business a little bit. Like, that's definitely what I'm doing at the moment too. Like so the first thing I've done is I've surveyed my audience. I've gotten on calls with them. I've chatted with them, see what they're going through right now and what they need. And that isn't going to influence my content and what I'm doing. And then I'm just taking a step back. And there's been things I've wanted to do in my business for years and I've never done. Like, I've always wanted to write a blog, I've always wanted to start a Facebook group, but I've just never had the time to do it. So that's the perfect time for that now. So these kind of like these long-term strategies that have like kind of long-term gains, now is the time to implement all of those at the moment. And like, what are the things, like putting a blog post in today isn't going to change the world tomorrow, but it's going to help me long-term build my audience and just get myself out there more. So I'm actually trying to reduce what I'm doing client to client a little bit and focus more on what do I need to do in my business. I feel like we've all got this sort of window right now to work on ourselves and do things for ourselves, to just sort of make, you know, and you see so much of it going around in the media of just like, maybe we were all rushing around a little bit too much and we're kind of being forced to slow down now. And is that such a bad thing in some ways? And trying to find a positive in it in that way, and just how can I just redesign my day a little bit? You know, we're all missing people, we're all missing certain parts of our lives, and we, you know, we're gonna, once this all lifts, that's what we want to focus on as well. So I think that there can be a lot of positive things come out of this as well.
Oh, definitely. Obviously, it's been like difficult times for I mean, for everyone actually. I mean, depend on, some businesses have been more affected than others, and which is obviously so important, is to focusing on what you can do right now. Actually, only focusing on what is in your hands and in your control, or what you can manage at the moment, and try not to think about what is going on and it's something that is out of your control. Because if you think, oh, I like to do this, I like to do that, but you only can do a few things actually. And I've seen lots of businesses pivoting and changing things online, their staff, training their staff online, moving things online. Companies or networking events that have been running face to face, now running online versions of networking events. There is lots of you have two options, right? One is adapt yourself, pivot, and being flexible and trying to use the technology and the different techniques that you can use. And the other thing you can do is like panic.
Panicking is always an option.
panicking and start thinking, okay, what can I do? I know this is too. So you have to adapt yourself, and when you got stuff that you need to manage and people that you working with, it's about helping all together. Well, helping each other really. It's the same you're doing with clients, we're doing with the clients.
And I think as well, like allowing ourselves that space to have a reaction is important as well. I think when this started, a lot of people kind of dove into the like, right, let's do online, got very, very like, you know, super motivated, which is great, but I think it was almost too much too fast. And then they kind of, like, this is a long-term thing, what is happening here, like we don't know what's going to happen, how long it's going to go on for. So I think a lot of those people kind of spent their energy at the start, and they're kind of like crashing a little bit now, going like, oh, okay, like this isn't just a sprint, this is a marathon, like I have to sort of, you know, make these changes. But like that's where I think it's a good idea to step back and make changes that are like, you know, in line with your business. Is like, what do you want your business to do long term? What changes need to be made? What's the future for your business now? And I really think those answers are best found in conversations with your ideal client. So I would recommend, if anyone is looking to do something right now to figure out what they need to do, get onto calls with people, like put up a post on Facebook or Instagram, wherever clients hang out, and just say, hey, I'm just like want to get on a chat for 20 minutes, and like if you can offer something in exchange, I offer social media audits in exchange. And it's like literally, it tends to be 30-45 minutes where you just get on and ask them, how are they doing, what's going on in their lives, what do they need, what, like, you know, like if that groomer had gotten me in a call, I would have been like, well, my dog is like, she's got massive amounts of hair and she can't sleep at the moment and I need to do something, but obviously she can't get groomed. She would have been like, I've got a kiss. And, you know, and like, she could even now go further and say to me, do you want to like pre-book in and pay 10% so that you're one of the first who gets in when I do open. And I would totally go for that because I want her to get her
I think like all small especially small businesses the ones obviously they're not online, they're not running online, they need to adapt themselves because they've been locked down. So and they you know better than me that they've been doing like lots of things online, teaching, connecting with the audience, but also offering like some sort of vouchers so you can buy for the restaurant.
Exactly.
And it's on us, it's on people to support those businesses as well, those restaurants, those cafes that we used to go like every single week, and we love going with our partners. Just get that support and be supportive and buy and
actually
give to someone.
I don't know if you saw on that Instagram actually just released an update in line with that to support, because everyone has been really anxious to support restaurants as much as they can. And Instagram has released new stickers that you can actually put up now on your stories and go ahead and buy a voucher through the stickers. It links you into it.
I didn't know that.
Just heard about it today. So it's rolling out. You mightn't have it yet everywhere, but if you are a restaurant, check in your stickers. They've released these new stickers that you can actually get people to go ahead and book with you and get vouchers. And they're releasing, if you go into your settings on your Instagram account and you go into add in buttons, you can actually add a button to buy vouchers now as well. So that's fantastic. But we have a question there. Which social media should we prioritize in our strategy? So I would say it largely depends on two things. One, your communication strength, your personal communication strength. So are you best on video? Are you best at writing? Are you best on audio? And most importantly, where is your audience hanging out? Like if you have, like for me, for example, I actually love Instagram. That's my favorite platform, but my audience are mostly on Facebook because I have a slightly older demographic in my audience. So I need to spend more time on Facebook, even though I prefer Instagram. So that's where, again, knowing your audience, if your audience is kind of 35 plus, they would tend to be it's changing a little bit on Instagram now, but they would tend to be more on Facebook. If your audience is 18, 21, 22, it's TikTok. If you are more, your communication specialty is more about like video, obviously Instagram, going on IGTV, YouTube is best for you. If you're better audio, start a podcast. If you're better writing, start a blog, use Pinterest. So that would be my advice, is to just take a step back and say, where are you most comfortable showing up in terms of communication, and where are your audience? Who are your audience, to understand which demographic is present where? And that would be my answer to that question.
That's a good answer, actually. I would say the same thing. Obviously, it depends on where your audience is, what's your objective, but also the time and the resources that you got, because you could have different formats. And for example, for me, LinkedIn works really well for reaching. At the moment, I feel like engagement, I think like it's going the quality of the content is going a bit down.
Okay.
I don't know. I think like people, obviously we're struggling to share creative and content on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But whereas obviously Instagram, I see like engagement might have gone down for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I think there's too many people sharing and there's too many people connecting as well, and then it depends on how many interactions you get in. So so the more people in the game, and the less interactions you get, the less engagement.
That's it. And I think that's the kind of talk where it comes back to like, what's better, organic or paid? And I would still be very much of the opinion that organic works, but I feel like more than 50% of your time needs to be spent on actually actively reaching out to people, rather than, like, I think we get so caught up with the content that we need to create, but we also, especially if you're talking about Facebook or Instagram, you need to be spending a lot of your time actually engaging with people and drawing them in, because and it's all about thinking about these platforms. Why are people on these platforms? If you're on YouTube, you're actively looking for a solution, so it's easier to show up there, because if you do your keywords right, you're going to show up. If I'm on Instagram as a regular human, or on Facebook, I'm there to connect with family, friends, look up pretty photos, and anything outside of that is an interruption to why I'm on there. So it's important to tune into why are people on platforms, and for you to be able to tune in with that need and kind of blend into it, rather than disrupt what they want. Like you want to stand out still, but you don't want to sort of just be bombarded. And that's where sometimes ads, like I might get a bit annoyed if I'm getting like ads interrupting my browsing of Pomeranians on Instagram, you know, whereas if somebody shows a lovely post of a Pomeranian wearing a jacket, I might just go and buy that, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just being in tune with what the platform wants from you.
I think it's obviously they find a way to create content these days that is useful and connects with your audience, because I don't think it's about the more the better. It's about I think it's the quality as well. And obviously Instagram is very visual, and then people like the visual, good pictures and stuff. For example, on Facebook, for me, I mean, it's too personal. But then the other, obviously, also where I run a Facebook group, and then I'm part of all the Facebook groups. That's more like business. So that Facebook group I built a few weeks back, it was for helping business owners and other entrepreneurs, and that's 100% business marketing tips, anything related, and with the aim of helping each other. Then some other people using Facebook to reach out people as well, like through Messenger. That depends, obviously, depends.
Yeah. And does anyone have any questions while you're on there about anything social media related, or if you have a particular problem but you're not sure what to do, maybe tell us your business and what you're doing. We can see if we can give you some tips on that.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's good. Because I mean, we're doing this for people. So if you have any questions, just fire up. And then also, if any questions on strategy or SEO or anything, I mean, easy to it's not something very easy to explain right now. But if I can explain it now, we can do it different time as well.
Yeah. So definitely.
So other thing I wanted to ask you and to share with people is a few tactics or well, maybe like what should be the main focus right now on social media, because we talked about this before, and I talked about this with clients as well when I did consultation, and they were like worried about, they need to stop campaigns, we're not generating any traffic from campaigns, conversions. I say okay, stop this and move on to social media, more social media, more branding, more that kind of thing. So what would be from you the advice on the focus?
So I feel like you need to remember that social media is a long game as well. It's like, it doesn't work overnight. It's a build up, and you're building relationships. It's how you build relationships. And especially, again, we're talking about Instagram and Facebook here. It's very much relationship focused. So I would always ask those businesses that say, oh, it's not working, the Facebook business page doesn't work anymore. How much are you taking your Facebook business page and engaging with other people through it? So it's like you have to act very much like a user as well as a content creator in order to create genuine relationships. And, and like, that's where, again, for me, it's not about the numbers. It's not about like having the 10,000 followers. If you have 500 followers who are super engaged in what you're doing, and most of them by name and personally, that's a successful business, rather than 10,000 people who are just, a figure, like, so I would focus on taking that step back, first of all, and then asking yourself, where are your audience? Like really get into the, like, who are my audience, and try and define them, both in terms of your demographics and psychographics. Mix that up and say, what age are they? Where are they from? What's their occupation? What are they suffering right now? Like, and actually go, you can either, I would recommend asking them, like getting on calls with them. If you can't do that, then use online tools like, look in Facebook groups and browse around where they're hanging out and see what they're saying and what are they struggling with. You want to figure out who they are, what they want, what they're going through right now, and then you figure out how you can help them, and what is the problem that they want serving and solving, rather than, going ahead and being like, oh, well, I can do this, so I'm going to just like give them this, even though it may not be what they need. Even if it is what they need, they might be aware it's what they need. So the most important thing inside and outside of the pandemic is knowing your audience, talking to them, understanding them. It influences everything you do. It influences all your social media. It's so important for content creation. If you got on 3 calls with your client, you would have a ton of content to write, because they'd be telling you stuff. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
really? You don't know how to do that? Okay, I'll tell you to do a piece of content on that. So that would be my first step. I would say start there, and also take the pressure off yourself. Like, don't be thinking like, oh, I put up 3 posts and I got only 2 likes or something. It's like, learn from it. Like, take it all as a testing mechanism and see, okay, this post did slightly better than this one. Why? What was different? What time did it go up at? What was in it? What was the image? What was the phrasing? And just really use this space. I would almost take the pressure. If you can't sell right now, or if you're reluctant to sell right now, take the pressure off yourself and just really go into audience understanding, audience connection, creating those relationships, and you'll come out of this with a load of clients ready to go if you really nurture those relationships. So that would be my absolute number one piece of advice for them to do.
Yeah, and going back to, for example, Karen, to the obviously the main mission of as a businesses, when we're helping, we obviously we focus on helping people, but in order to do that, we need to understand the audience and get to know better the audience. And now it's a better opportunity when people are consuming more content on social media, and they're spending more time on social media to actually reach them out and connect with them, and like you say, understand better what and then also analyzing from a marketing point of view. You have to analyze everything you've been doing so far, because there's no point you create so much content if you don't know which content is working well, which content is getting more engagement, which type of post, anything that you've been doing. So analyzing traffic, what people are searching, things like that. Now if we have the time to do it, it's a good moment to spend doing that.
And I would say as well, if you're somebody who doesn't have a large audience yet, and you're like, well, I don't know, I haven't done content, find somebody. Like, if let's say you're focused on Instagram and you're like, I've only done 12 posts, I only have a handful of followers, find somebody who does what you do and look at their content and scan through and see which one's got the most likes. If you view it on the laptop, you can still see which one's got the most amount of likes, and then you'll know, okay, well, they are serving the same audience, and they love it when they put up a picture of this, or they talk about this. And don't copy, but just create your own version of that. Like, how could you add to that? What could you do to create that and make that your own? And that's a good place to start. And I think, and then after that, like, if you have a week's worth of content up, you've got analytics. You can check in your insights and see which one did better, which one did worse, which one totally tanked, and then you don't do that one again.
Yeah, and I like what you say before. One of the things you say before about don't telling people, obviously telling the clients, or telling anyone to be focusing more on quality than quantity, and then don't get too obsessed about having thousands of followers, and be more interested in connecting with the right ones, with the ones that really giving you value, and then you give value to them, and then it's kind of like building that relationship with them. So for me, well, people can see I have less than 1,000 followers, but I do get quite a lot of DMs, messages from people asking questions, and I feel really good about helping them, and then what type of content I can share to them, and it's the way to do it, rather than trying to obsess about how many likes or how many people are following me. Oh my God, this is
not good for your mental health.
Build an audience, for example, I would say I would our online presence, and like, obviously, if you have a strategy in place, you need to know, obviously, building your funnel, because as a business, obviously you build an audience, but what you need to know, you need to think about the objective of building that audience, because it doesn't make sense that you build an audience of followers if you don't know what you're going to do next. If you're going to drive them to your email list, and then nurture them with email marketing. Some of the strategies right now, obviously, keep emailing people in a way that is helpful, or driving them to your Facebook group, or doing different strategies and tactics that you can eventually being able to sell your product or service, which is what businesses are for, right?
Exactly. Solve problems.
Exactly. So problems. We got another question. How to communicate in crisis and protect reputation.
I would say it's all about being like genuinely wanting to help people, which again, I would still say this is true previous to the pandemic as well. But I think right now, if you're out there and just saying, guys, whatever I can do to help, just let me know, and be genuine about that. That's what is needed right now. And I think we all kind of have that need as human beings right now. We want to help. We want to see, what can I do? So within your own area, how can you help your customers? What can you offer to help people? How can you be that, distraction and entertainment, or something more concrete? And again, goes back to asking them, what do they need? I might have said that before. But I would say as well, focus on community building. Like, we're all, again, it's something what's so unique about all this. We're all going through the same thing globally. Everybody, in different levels, but like, everybody is at home, probably most likely alone, or maybe with one or two other people. We're all feeling the sort of, pain of isolation, loneliness, all of these things. And community is so important, and people are realizing what, they're missing. And so thankfully we have the capability to have online communities now. So, which is why I'm creating my Facebook page now, and why I would suggest to other people, could you create, like, if you're, even let's say you were a pizza place in the center of a city, could you create a Facebook page for all the businesses on that street to come together and tell people what's going on, and and show pictures of the street empty, and talk about, share positive stories of, like, oh, like, we had we helped this, like, older gentleman do his shopping the other day, or whatever. Just, that's community building. And, like, you may not have an agenda right now. Your agenda is to help and be there and build that community, and that will serve you later. That will serve you as a business later, because it's getting you out in front of people. So I would focus on that. And there's, I don't think there's anyone who can't do something online right now, even if you feel, oh, like, exactly like that. The restaurants are the perfect examples. They're just like, well, how can we serve people? They're create a community right now. And the power in that, like, I've seen the restaurants that sort of were still thriving even the first few weeks into the pandemic, were the ones that had already built a community, because people were just so already into them and just wanted to help them, that they were ready to just do whatever. They were like, what can we do? What can we buy from you? They were almost asking for vouchers before they even existed, because that community already existed. So if you don't have that already, create it now.
And also, referring to that, I seen here, one in Manchester and other places, that the restaurants are helping each other as a community. So they build in their own community to reach their own audiences and to help all together, because at the end of the day, we are all together in this, suffering this pandemic, and we are, as a business, if you're going to help all the businesses even in on your own sector. That will come out stronger together, and there will be business and sales for everyone. If you survive now, obviously that's the absolutely key right now. Survive, and then stay, communicating, stay creative, and reaching people and helping people. And once in a month, 2 months, 3 months time, when restaurants reopen again, we will all go, we will all support, we will all buy those vouchers, and we will all help, and they will recover again. So I think, like, that example is really good. And I seen already, like, on Twitter, like, creating different lists of restaurants, and then sharing all the content together. And the same, I believe all the local businesses are doing. LinkedIn as well, for example. Marketers I've been in touch with different ones from Spain and the UK. We've been running like events, online events, free ones, like what we're doing right now, like a live sharing content and ideas and value and helping. And we've been doing webinars and even competition that you think, oh, maybe but I never seen them as a competition, but then now we are all coming together, we are all helping. So I think it's the best thing we could do.
Definitely. And I would say as well, I think in Ireland, our government has handled this very well. And I think there's a lot of breaks out there for both staff and businesses, and in every way there's lots of things happening. So just like check in with your local governments and just see what breaks are there and avail of them. Like, whatever is around, take the help that's there. If there's a 3-month break on your mortgage, if there's a 3-month break on a rent lease or whatever, talk to your landlord, ask them, could they take 50% off anything? Just take whatever breaks are around and that will take the pressure off you. And if you get that pressure taken off you, then you're able to really throw yourself into building those communities and content creation. And I think I've seen a lot of people, when they take that sort of pressure off themselves of like, okay, I don't have to sell, I don't have this like sort of secret agenda hanging over my head, really authentic and better content can come out of that. And people are able to just step up and go, actually, I just really want to help. And that is what they genuinely want to do. And they don't feel like they've got this weird agenda that they have to throw out there at some stage. So
yeah. I mean, like, it's obviously a big challenge at the moment, but it's all about, it's all about the support, but also things like, I seen and for example a client the clinic, they are doing stuff online, but more creative and more like not only trainings and things like that, but also any sort of like advice online and going live and but they collaborating, they doing collaborations with all the similar businesses within the sector, and that's the best thing you can do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's
Is there
it,
questions? Any questions? Anyone?
Any other
Anyone
questions
who's
coming
now
in? You're stuck with us.
So if it's not many questions, I think we do a wrap up with any thoughts, anything you like to share before we end up. We got another question. How to manage the purchasing behavior of consumers on the web digital?
How to manage their behavior? How do you mean? You mean you want to change their behavior or understand it?
I think I understand, like, it's probably asking about how you understand, because you can't change people's behavior. What I've been analyzing is at the moment people are in a moment of awareness of knowing explaining the sales funnel. People are the customer journey. People are a stage of awareness, a stage of obviously situation that they're looking for educational content and how to do things, or entertaining and things like that. So people are not many people are not in the purchasing process at the moment, unless they really need it. It depends on the It depends on the sector. Actually, it's going back.
And it depends. Yeah, it comes back to who's your ideal client. Like, I'm still purchasing stuff. Like, I'm actually. I think I'm making more purchases through Instagram at the moment because I'm on it more and I see things. So like I as a consumer, if I am seeing videos or content around how to use things or something, again, like not just random stuff, like again, like I'm getting, and I see the ad, when I see an ad targeted at me, I'm just like, well done, Facebook, you know me well. Like, where for like a journal, I'm looking to write in journals, or a grooming kit for my dog or whatever, things that I still want to buy. It's not like I will, it's super necessary, but it's like I will, I'm kind of trying to consciously keep purchasing because I can, and I don't, and I think for the people who do have money and do feel like they have some level of certainty ahead of them, I would encourage them to still purchase and try and remain as normal as possible, because we help the economy go around by doing that. So I would say, again, it comes back to who's your ideal client. If your ideal client is somebody who is in a very secure job and is just working from home, and their probably day-to-day costs have actually reduced and their income has remained the same, they may be looking to buy things to entertain them. Or, Disney reported massive sales of their TV package, like crazy numbers, because they were only charging $6.99 a month for the next 12 months. I'm not advertising for Disney, but people are stuck at home. It was like genius. People are stuck at home and they're going to have access to all the Disney shows now for $6.99 a month. Everyone went into it, low price, and demand was there. And, so thinking about, again, going back into your customer's mind, if my customer is a 42-year-old working man with 2 kids and a wife, and he's fairly well off and his job is secure, I'm thinking he's probably doing DIY stuff at home, or he's probably investing in home improvements, maybe a new microphone for his computer. He's upgrading stuff. So if I'm in that line of business, then I'd be like, I'm going to make some offers because he's totally ready to buy and he's sitting at home and he's looking for ways to improve his surroundings, or so just very much depends on who your customer is. And that's where I think the market research is really important right now, because their journey has changed. All of our journeys have changed, and some people, it's brought them closer to purchasing from you, and other people it's brought them further away, depending on who your ideal client is. So I would say check in with them, get in a call, even past clients that you had, get them on a call for 20 minutes and just ask them, how are they doing? What's going on? What are their thoughts? What are their plans? What are their goals? What are they worrying about? All those kind of psychographic questions. Just look up psychographics in Google and you'll get a couple of sample questions there. And you will get so much information from that. And you will know, if you were before this, you may have been planning to sell them, a set of whatever. And now, you can sell them this mug instead and they'll totally buy it. So it's just really get in tune with where they are and what they want right now and what would be helpful for them.
Yeah, and obviously in marketing, one of the main strategies is understanding more understanding your ideal client, but getting to know your ideal client, because you can't reach everyone. I mean, as a business, you gotta know exactly who your ideal client is, and you gotta spend that time analyzing that data, and like you mentioned before at the very beginning about surveying your clients, your current clients, surveying people, asking people questions on how they react, what they interest, and this is answering that question is obviously depending, because some people are even spending more money, like Karen just mentioned, because they are in a secure job, or they've been furloughed, and they are still earning 80% of their salary, but they are at home, working out at home, spending more time on Netflix, on whatever, and they paying lots of new tools, softwares, whatever. So they're ready to buy and they're spending. So it actually depends. It actually depends on what you do. Yeah.
Good question.
Good question, by the way. Thank you very much for asking. And if anyone else who is joining, hi everyone. People are joining and leaving. That's how Instagram Live works. I mean, I'm not very used to doing Instagram Live, and if people liking, taking that opportunity to ask my audience, if you like Instagram Live like this, please comment and leave a comment, or direct message me and say, please, let's do this more often, because for me, I very often ask. Do often ask people, do you like content on SEO? Do you like content marketing strategy? More like business, or what type of content? Because I got loads of things to write about, and I got lots of pieces of content that I can share on different or clients or projects that I work with. But then I need to know exactly what the people are on Insta.
That's it.
they like.
Great. That's great. It was lovely chatting with you.
But it's been great. Actually, and I'm glad you are coping well. I mean, as well as we can do these days. And we need to keep my last advice and my last thoughts to everyone who join in any moment or watch this part of the life is saying that please stay creative, stay active with your marketing, with your business, analyze things. Sit down with your marketing plan, your strategy, and think, if you're outsourcing someone to help, that'd be much better if you can afford it. Obviously, a professional always can help you further and tell you exactly which tools, which are how to focus in more, in which tactic you should be focusing more, or different areas. But then sit down and analyze things and make a plan short term for now to survive. And then if you have the time, which you might have or not, you might do or not, but then you can plan things for when this is ready, so you can start running campaigns, and then you can start generating business again and selling online. That'd be my advice.
Definitely. And mind yourselves. And I would say, I mean, from a marketing point of view, my number one advice is just two pieces would be talk to your ideal clients, get on the phone with them, and just test things out. There's nothing wrong you can do. I think there can be this fear that people have of just like, oh God, if I press post, like world's gonna end. If you feel that way, try Instagram stories. just test it out. They're gone in 24 hours. Nothing bad can happen. Just test it out and just, watch what's happening, who's watching, who's staying on, what's going on, with the content. And then other than that, just try and tune in with yourself, because, you're under strain, no matter how severe or not, whatever's going, we're all under extra strain in some level. So to just remember that and check in with yourself, and don't expect yourself to do miracles and be super woman or Superman. Like, just, if you can get up a little bit later, I know people who have kids might be different, but if you can get up a little bit later, do that. Tune in with your energy. You're not going anywhere really right now. So it doesn't matter if you start your day a little bit later, that's fine. Just do what suits you right now, and give yourself the permission to just, not do everything, and to just do what feels right, and to take care of yourself, and to try and take some rest. Like, if it's even at the weekend, if you can go for walks around the block in circles or whatever, just do what you can to just mind your mental health.
Definitely, yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, that's the best thing you can do. Look after yourself and your people as well.
Yeah.
And then, then that's the end. And then if anyone has any questions or anything after watching, or just direct message me, or you can follow Karen as well, because Karen,
welcome.
She's setting always really good, helpful content, and very, very nice content and lovely content, and I would recommend everyone to follow her as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, definitely, I follow her, and it's such an inspiration for me as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and hope this has been very helpful. And if you like this type of Instagram lives, inviting other experts and professionals to share ideas and tips and thoughts, just let me know, and I will be we'll be going live more often.
Great.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks,
Take care, Karen. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.